actress and more like a fraud playing dress-up in her best friend's closet. Technically, that's exactly what she was, but Lana had made a compelling argument for abandoning her usual style. Sensible pumps and retro-inspired gowns wouldn't do for tonight's mission. Admittedly, the public location wasn't Arabella's favorite. As a rule, she avoided making a spectacle of herself, and if her dad found out what she was up to, he'd turn 10 shades of red. He and Charlie didn't exactly see eye to eye. Dad's job was to keep country music fans happy, and they wanted their musicians hot, talented, and relatively scandal-free. Charlie was 2 of those things. They also preferred them to at least appear capable of monogamy, a feat hard to accomplish when you're photographed with no less than a dozen different women in a single month. But for once, Ella wasn't so worried about appearances or her dad's approval. Tonight was her one and only shot. Her internship at Strange Wheel Studios began the day after Memorial Day, and once that was completed, she'd officially join the ranks at Belle Meade Records, thus making Charlie her future employee. Nope. If she was ever going to follow her heart and scratch the first item off her summer top 10 list, this was the night to do it. Realistic is code for boring, her friend muttered. No, it's needed for survival. Let's not forget that even if Charlie likes what he sees, it won't change the end of the story. Lana raised a perfectly shaped brow, and Ella waved a hand, encompassing her father's kingdom. I'm still a stone. In this town, that's the equivalent of an iron-forged chastity belt. Guys who want in the music business only slip me demos, and guys already in it steer clear so they don't piss off my dad. After last week's fiasco with the mayor's daughter, Charlie's already on his bad side, which means, at this rate, I'm gonna die a single, dateless, granny-panty-wearing old shrew. There's never an excuse for granny panties, Lana replied, and Arabella shook her head with a smile. Leave it to her bestie to focus on what was truly important. And what's this about dating? It's a hookup, Ella, not a marriage proposal. Ah, another wrinkle in her mission. Lana believed that tonight was mere wish fulfillment, a celebrity crush that Ella wanted to scratch. But the feelings she had went so far beyond a simple crush, they weren't even in the same conversation. Charlie Tucker had starred in Ella's dreams ever since she was 14 years old. Back then, she'd been flat-chested with a mouthful of braces, and he'd been 6 years older, which meant she'd barely even registered on his radar. If anything, he'd seen her as a gawky little kid. No, she thought with a rueful smile, not little kid, little bit. The loathsome nickname proved just how hopeless her situation had been, how pathetic, but neither the name nor the glaring age difference had deterred her heart, because with one playful wink and one slow smile, young Arabella had been a goner. Sadly, 22-year-old Ella wasn't that much better. As long as you get your flirt on and skedaddle before your old man shows up, Lana continued, flicking her wrist to flag down a waiter, your dad will never have to know. Her distracted gaze shifted to the dance floor, no doubt on the hunt for tonight's victim. She was always on the prowl. Then, without warning, Lana's eyes zinged back with a snap. It is just a hookup, right? In lieu of responding, Ella studied her fascinating pink nail polish, and the future prosecutor inhaled a sharp breath. Oh, honey. From the sympathy coding those 2 words, you'd think Arabella had lost a puppy. Here comes the opening argument. Ella, you know I'm all for you letting loose and having a wild night. You deserve that more than anyone I know. Reaching across the table, Lana placed a gentle hand on her arm. But Charlie Tucker doesn't do serious. You, of all people, know his reputation.